All right, good afternoon. This is June the 24th, 2023. We are around probably 6 o'clock in the afternoon here. Beautiful day. It got a little warm today. I'm still shooting split finger instinctive with my Howard Hill Wesley Special 50-pound longbow. Although I easily can go back and forth to gap. I've been thinking about that a little bit, about the Native Americans and how they operated. When I was a kid, I lived in northern Alabama, and we used to go out and find a bunch of arrowheads. There was a whole bunch of people here for a whole bunch of thousands of years operating in the Stone Age. Kind of comparing what we do with bow hunting and what they did. I expect, I'm almost positive, that those Native Americans had access to dogs. I watched a video recently of some African hunters, strictly bow hunters, and they essentially went around and shot anything they could shoot and eat it. They even shot a bat and ate that. But they had 4 or 5 little dogs with them. I'd say 50, 60 pounds. And those dogs were their hunting companions. I don't see any reason that the Native American Indians didn't have that same. We know they had dogs. That changes the bow hunting situation considerably, because with a little group of dogs like that, you know, nowadays if we shoot a deer in the woods and we can't find the deer, if we know somebody with a tracking dog, we can call them up and they'll bring that dog. Let me shoot at that werewolf down there, or coyote or wolf. I'm about 20 yards here, and like I say, I'm going to be gapped. I'm going to be instinctive shooting. So I'll shoot first. Let me shoot first and then put it on that, because I want to show you how I'm doing it, and I'll tell you what I think about those dogs. Okay, so all right, I made a kill. All right, you can show. I made a kill on that, but what if I didn't make a kill? What if I just hit him in the leg or the ham or something like that, or the gut? Well, when we make a shot like that around here, a lot of times we don't find the deer. We probably smell it a week later. Sometimes we don't kill it at all. Let me make another one. That's another kill. That's strictly instinctive. All right, let's get another one that's not going to be a kill. I'm going to go for the ham. All right. Now, I don't know if the little dog would have been with them. Probably not, the way it is around here with deer. But I guarantee you, some of those young boys that were with them, if they made a shot like that, hightailed it, somebody went up there and marked the first blood or marked the spot, and they went back to the village and brought these 3 or 4 well-trained little yapping dogs. Or probably they didn't yap. They probably were quiet. I don't know if they did or not. If you get a point in a deer, like I just did in the ham of that coyote, those little dogs are going to find that. They're going to find it. So I say that whereas the modern bow hunter seeks to make a double lung shot, bring the deer down with a huge blood trail and get him, you know, pick him up pretty quick and get him. But I'm thinking that with the Native Americans, they just were trying to get an arrow in a deer. With the number of people they had that were hungry and those little dogs and all that they had, I think it would have been very rare that they did not find that deer. And I'll tell you, I'm going to go for the boar now. Let's see if I can get a trail, a blood trail. All right, I got him in the leg then. I bet you those little dogs would find that one. Go for it again. Try to get a better shot. So I don't think it was so much that they had to get a double lung shot. I just have a feeling those guys were so hungry and had enough people, boys around there, young boys that were being trained, dogs to trail, that they're going to get that deer. Go for the pig again. I'll take that one. So that's what I'm trying to get at. That we now see nowadays, if you watch the videos and all, I missed him. I think then the dog probably couldn't have found that one. I was too high. But if you watch the videos of urban hunting and all, the guys that are hunting around Atlanta, you know, Atlanta and all those big cities, they're huge. That stuff used to be farmland just a few years ago in woods. And they sometimes have permission to hunt on, you know, just a few acres. And if the deer goes off, if they shoot it and it goes off of that property and goes into the next couple of yards over, they really don't have permission to go get that deer. They might have to go knock on the door and ask the landowner, hey, we shot a deer and it got on your land, may we look for it? Well, the landowners, if they don't like hunting, a lot of times will tell them, hell no. You can't. I'll take that. So that's just my thoughts on the difference between the modern bow hunting and how it was back when people were doing it. If they could get that animal wounded, they're gonna eat that animal. They might even find him a day or two later. I guarantee you they'd eat him still. A lot of people say, oh, the deer, no, you got to get them, they spoil and all that. Let me tell you, from last year, I'll take that one. I shot a deer last year on an urban property. A pretty big one though, it's about a 40-acre urban property. I thought I made a perfect shot. I couldn't find blood though. I mean, it was about dark when I shot the deer. And I went out the next morning, no blood trail, no blood trail. And this is a story about eating a deer that you don't get immediately. So anyway, it was fairly warm. It was probably 80 degrees that afternoon when I shot it. It probably didn't get down below 70. And anyway, I pretty much gave up. And I was coming back, just walking through the woods, and there the deer was, laying there on the ground. No blood trail, no nothing. Probably 60 yards from where I shot the doe. It came out through the guts. It was a lung shot, but it was a gut shot coming out. So I got that deer, drug it out of there, got it back to the house, and it was somewhere approaching 24 hours since I shot the deer before I could get the deer dressed out. And that's down here in Georgia in the deep south. That deer meat smelled perfect. There was no smell, no nothing, and I don't know how long it could have laid there before it sure enough got tainted, but deer meat is very stable. The video that I was doing, had no purpose except that I do get out here and shoot and talk about what's on our mind. And I do want to talk to the people out there that have thought about coming over to our side. There is a war brewing, a big, nasty war. And it's us against them. And us is the white hats. Us is those that believe in Jesus Christ. And that we've been made promises that the devil will eventually be defeated. Here lately, I'm just about convinced that in the United States, there's more of us than there are of them. They make a lot of squawk. The LGBTQ and all of that crazy stuff, there's not near as many of them as they want you to think. But they do a lot of squawking. The believers don't squawk that much, you know, they just pretty much carry out their business and try to raise their families in a decent way. But our army is growing. And I'm calling recruits right now. We need your numbers. And I'm talking to you guys out there that have thought of coming over to Jesus, that know about Jesus, that know the gospel, but you are not yet. You're on the verge of coming over. Well, I'm asking you, I'm recruiting right now. I'm saying, come on over. We need you. We need to overwhelm the wicked with numbers. Now, God said He would take care of them. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So to me, that means we're not to take up our bows and arrows and pitchforks and go out there and start stabbing them. God will take care of that. But we need to be a united army. We need to be vocal about Jesus, about Yeshua the Messiah. We need to witness to people in a kind and loving manner, because nobody knows if they're going to come or not. Now, when I was on the other side and I had an encounter with a priest, I don't know what kind of a priest he was, but he had a white collar on his neck. This was when I was going to college. Somebody, I don't know how in the world I was referred to him, but he was concerned that I wasn't a believer. But he came at me in a rather snarling, judgmental way. I wasn't attracted to want to be like him. Now, if he had come at me a different way and said, look, brother, you're probably going to come to Jesus one day. Everybody's a sinner. Everybody's going to go through these rough times. I want you to know Jesus loves you, and I want you to know that when you're ready, He's going to take you back. He's going to take you back with open arms. And that's what I want to say to you out there. Just say, Jesus, save me. I'm ready. And if He's already saved you and you've gone back to your old way of life, or as they say, the dog goes back to its vomit, it's time to turn around again. Jesus, save me. I'm ready to turn my back on the darkness. Save me. I can't do it myself. All right, that's my message right there. And I'd like to end this little discussion, which started at that I think the Indians had dogs, and I think that if they could get a flint arrow point in a deer, they pretty much took him to the table. All right, I'd like to say the Lord's Prayer, and I'd like you to say it with me if you are so inclined. I'd like you to close your eyes if you're in a place where you can do that. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.